Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to We Are Tottenham TV for another episode of Good Morning Tottenham. And there are quite a few bits and pieces to get through. And without further ado, let's get in to the match preview for tomorrow night's game out in France. Rennes against Tottenham in our opening group stage game of the... I was about to say Champions League there, but and then I was about to say Europa League, and now Europa Conference League.
They couldn't even call it Europa Champions League. They had to add conference to it.
I know. Literally, it makes you feel like you're in the bottom tier of English football. But you're in the bottom tier of European football.
Exactly, it's not far off.
Yeah, it's something that Arsenal fans are dreaming of right now.
Well,
you know, we've overtaken them now in the coefficient rankings.
Exactly.
And all that.
Head in the coefficient, you'll never sing that.
Well, they were singing it for many years.
You're not going to sing it anymore. You'll never sing it anymore.
But look, I think it is a good thing that we are moving up in the coefficient ranking for sure. Yeah. We've been below Arsenal for so many years. In so many years, they haven't had Champions League, and we had Champions League, and we still never managed to get above them. And it took us to be in the Conference League to move above them.
Yeah, because they were in the Champions League for so many years. I guess that kind of... I don't know how it works. I thought it was a 5-year rolling thing, so I don't understand how they were still above us. I don't really get it. Maybe there's... you get residual coefficient points for your history. I have no idea. But I'm glad...
I don't think so.
Huh?
I don't think so.
So how can it be? How if it's a 5-year rolling thing? How can they be above us?
I thought it was just I didn't know it was a 5-year rolling thing, but I don't know I don't know how it works, to be honest.
That's what I thought it was. I thought you get points for I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure every 5 years you get a. It's like that's how it the 5th year it goes and the new year comes in.
Oh, so like the loyalty points.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I thought it was going to. That's how I thought it is. But it's a good thing. I guess we're above Arsenal. That's positive. We're a big. So what? We're a better European club now than Arsenal. That's
exactly.
It.
It's always good to be above Arsenal, no matter what it's in. You know what I mean?
The Conference League has its perks, I guess.
But look, it is a game tomorrow night against Rennes out in France.
It's a game.
It
is a game of football.
A game of football will be played in France. And I don't know if you've heard, just before we get into the preview, did you hear about all the madness announced last week, ticket details and everything like that? And just before that, UEFA announced that fans are going to be allowed back in away European games this season. But what we're hearing out from France now is that Rennes have put a block on Spurs fans coming into Rennes. Why?
Yeah, I don't know. It's not Spurs fans, English people coming into Rennes. Yeah. But basically rules out all Spurs fans. Yeah. But I don't know, COVID, I'm guessing.
It's absolutely nuts. Like, a week before they're selling tickets. A week before they're saying away fans are let in. The rules in France are saying that it's okay, and then suddenly they're backtracking on it.
Yeah, so it says Tottenham fans have been barred by an administrative order from entering Rennes city centre on Thursday. We oppose this outdated approach to visiting fans. To this end, we've expressed our concerns to the interior government and are liaising with Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Trust. So does that mean they're not allowed to go to the game, or what does that mean?
I have no clue. It seems so like such a strange message, isn't it?
To the Tottenham Supporters Trust tweeted out saying we've approached the fans, which is the Football Supporters Europe Association, for assistance earlier today regarding this excessive administrative order. Any Spurs fans needing legal support as a result of this order in Rennes, please contact the Supporters Union or Supporters Trust. I don't know what is it. Maybe it's not COVID. Maybe I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. What the reasoning is behind it. It's got a whole statement in French. I don't really speak much French, and I can't translate it. So I don't know why, if any reasoning being. But all I can say is, that's what they've done. Tottenham Hotspur. Yeah, they've been barred from entering the city centre.
Absolute madness. But let's talk about the game now, because we are playing the third favourites now in the Conference League, us being the first favourite. So it's interesting that the 2 out of the top 3 favourites are put together in the group. Rennes are not going to be a pushover at all. They're got a good players in their team. You know, they got Jeremy Doku, who I actually believe is injured.
Yeah, he's not playing.
They've got Sergio Guirassy as well, and Mbai Niang they've got in their squad. So they've got some good players. Obviously, Camavinga was their star player, and he's just left to Real Madrid, scored on his debut. But they definitely will not be pushovers. This is definitely probably, Roma aside, the hardest team we could have faced in the Conference League. So
they are 11th in the French League currently after 5 games. 11th in the French League.
11th
They've
in the French League
won
after
1 of 5
games.
games.
Yeah. Look, obviously it's not going to be the hardest test. It's not going to be like coming up against Lyon, Lille, Nice, or kind of PSG. But they're kind of like the next best after that, and that's what the Conference League brings.
That's what the Conference League is, exactly. So that's what it is.
So look, at the end of the day, it's not a game that we should be taking lightly in the Conference League. But having said that, we can't field a proper first choice team, because we need players for the weekend. And if any of our top players get injured tomorrow, that spells big danger for the Chelsea game.
Absolutely, that's completely right. I think that's why we have to be looking at this game as as an opportunity to rest players and give other players an opportunity, because the stat, you know, in terms of Kane and Son's influence, we're so heavily reliant on Kane and Son going into the season for goal scoring. For the past 2 years, we've pretty much, I think we've won 1 game without Kane or Son scoring, or an own goal scoring. And that was against Wolves back in December 2019. That's what I was reading today. That's how reliant we are on Kane and Son. You know, after Kane, Son and Bale last season, what was our next top goal scorer?
Kane, Son and Bale. Bloody hell. No one.
Own goal.
Own goal. Really? How many?
3.
Bloody hell. That is...
So that goes to show how reliant we are on Kane and Son, and Bale's gone now. So it's worrying. That's why we can't risk Kane in this game, I don't think. I really don't think we can.
I think we will, though.
I've got a horrible feeling we will, but I just don't think we should. If Kane gets any sort of knock and rules himself, we're pretty much giving up the Chelsea game if he's ruled out in that game.
Yeah.
Like, we've got no one to score. We've got no one scoring.
Son might be fit for Chelsea.
Yeah, I guess Son might be fit, but he also might not be. So
yeah.
Well, it's, you know, it's worrying times, and that also goes to show this whole debate between Kane and Son, who's more important. That goes to show how pointless that is, because we need both of them. We absolutely need both of them, because if we don't have both of them, then we're screwed.
I hope that behind the scenes they know more about the Son injury than we know out here, know in the media. So I hope that if it looks like Son's going to be fit for the weekend, then maybe we can sort of slightly risk Kane. If not, then definitely not. We cannot play Kane in this game if Son's definitely out for the weekend. And they should know behind the scenes more than we know right now, right?
I'm sure they do. But I'm sure they know more than we know. But hopefully they're being extra cautious, and that's why they're saying Son might not be fit for Sunday. But I don't know. I've got a feeling that, I don't know. I'm just hoping he's okay, because we're desperate for him.
I mean, I've put a bit of a lineup together who I want to play, or I think that's going to play, and I think it will be Golini, Davis, Tanganga, Roden, Doherty at the back. I think that's the only pretty much back four we can play.
Golini, Davis, Tanganga,
Roden and Doherty. That's got to be the back four, surely. You would expect.
Yeah.
And then in the midfield 3, I've put Højbjerg, Winkson, and Ndombele, and then up front I've put Hill, Scarlett or Kane or Mora. I mean, that's got to be the lineup. I can't see it be anything else.
Yeah, in terms of like wingers and stuff, like who do we like? I would love to say
Jack Clark, but is he really going to play Jack Clark?
I don't think so. I don't think he trusts him. Like, as much as I'd love to say exactly like rest Mora, we need him for Sunday, which we do. We just have no one else. We have no one else, and that's the annoying to this Conference League. Like if you want to take it seriously, you have to kind of field a team that's going to get a result. And without someone like Lucas and Kane, I don't know if it will get a result. And I don't know if Nuno wants to risk not getting a result. I think he should risk not. That's my point. That's my opinion. He should risk not getting a result in this game to save it for Chelsea. But I don't know if he will do that.
I agree with you. I think we should risk this game because, you know, it's a group stage. We've got many other games in the group stage.
It's the hardest group stage game as well. So
and it's it's the hardest group stage game. And I think that times will come in the Conference League where we can field a stronger team, but I don't think this is it. I think we've got to be looking at that Chelsea game. It's so important to get back on track. But having said that, if he rests people for this game and then he goes strong against Chelsea and we still lose, then he's kind of like, then like, what's the point at the end of the day? But
Well,
you can't take that chance, can you?
And you look, it'll do a lot more for us if we can get even a draw against Chelsea than a result against Rennes. It'll do more for the team confidence. It'll do more for how we're setting up for the season. It means a lot more. Even if we get a draw against Chelsea, it means a lot more. So I would take a defeat right now. Even if you offer me a draw against Chelsea, I'd take a loss to Rennes.
There's some people, I think Football London, Ali Gold, Rob Guest, people like that talking maybe Dylan Markande to play tomorrow night.
Interesting.
Obviously, he's been doing bits for the under-23 sides this season. He's started to get in and around the squad. I mean, would you welcome his arrival? Would you play him?
I would play him. I would play him in the front three, for sure. I would rest Kane. I would rest Mora. Honestly, I would play Jack Clark if I was Nuno.
Would you actually play a front three of Clark, Markande, and Scarlett?
No, I'd start Hill. I would start
Hill, Markande, and Scarlett, or Hill, Clark, and Scarlett, someone like that.
Yeah, I would.
And Niall John in midfield as well. Would you play a complete youth team?
I honestly, I told you, like, I'm not really bothered about this competition. I would play a youth team. If it was up to me, I would play a youth team, especially in this game. Maybe, when we need to qualify, maybe not. But in this game, first group stage, when we have Chelsea on Sunday, put a youth team out.
Does it matter to you if we get
lose.
Completely embarrassed?
No.
We lose 4-5-0?
Not if we get a result on Sunday.
What if we lose 4-5-0 and then lose on Sunday as well?
Well, obviously, I wouldn't take that. That's a silly... That's obviously I wouldn't take that. If we lose 4-5-0 and then get a 0-0 draw on Sunday, I would take that. I would take that right now.
It would be embarrassing to lose 4-5-0 in the Conference League, no matter what team's out there.
Doesn't matter. If we get a result against Chelsea, no one will care.
Yeah.
Everyone will.
Can we get a result against Chelsea? That's the thing.
Probably not. But I'd rather risk getting a result against Chelsea than bother with this Rennes game. Honestly, it can't do much for us right now. We can't be risking more players. We've got so many injuries right now and players away. We can't be risking our Premier League season for the sake of this Conference League. We just can't, and I wouldn't risk anything right now, especially in the situation we're in with the squad wise. I just wouldn't. That's my opinion.
All right. That is our kind of match preview for the game tomorrow. Let's move on because there's other news to get through. Let's start off with a bit from Eurosport saying Harry Kane may yet sign a new Tottenham contract, but Man City have moved on from the Harry Kane saga and they might not be coming back in next summer, apparently.
Yeah, so do you think, in that sense, does the power swing back in? If Man City, let's say it's true, Man City not in for him anymore, and Barca and can't afford him. Madrid, they're gonna go hard for Mbappe. Man United have got Ronaldo now. Chelsea have Lukaku. Does it all of a sudden become a situation where Kane needs that new contract from Tottenham? He needs it more than Spurs do. Not more than Spurs do, but all of a sudden it could quickly become a situation where he's more desperate for the new contract than Spurs are willing to give it to him, in a way.
Yes and no, because yes, in terms of he's desperate for the contract because he wants to be getting the wages where he deserves from what he's put into the football club over the last number of years. But no, in the case of if he doesn't sign a contract next summer, he's got 2 years left in his deal, right?
Yeah.
And then in his mind he can be like, all right, fine, I'll stick around for even one more year, and then I can go in to Tottenham with 1 year left on my contract, and then I really do hold the cards. And surely with 1 year left,
have to keep up his standards in that sense, because obviously he's going to be 30 years of age.
Have to keep up his standards either way, but yeah,
he's going to be 30 years of age. So no one's at 30 years of age to pay 50 million for a player. He's going to still have to be one of the top forwards in the. Age,
even if he sticks around for 2 more years and literally runs down his contract, he'll have the pick of anyone he would want to go to because there's no transfer fee involved. It's just wages involved.
Yeah, but then he does want to go to a side where he's not like 100% number one choice, does he? And Man City would have been 100% number one choice this summer because they don't have a striker. They only have Jesus. Kane is the go-to man. But if in a couple years' time, if his contract runs down, he's got 1 year left. Like if City sign Haaland, Chelsea will still have Lukaku. I guess maybe a Man United. What other choices do you have?
Well, who knows what can. 10 minutes into the show. All right, we're back, guys. What were we saying?
Talking about Harry Kane. But yeah, it's in terms of if he runs down his contract, he'll have pick of the clubs, but also clubs might have moved on from him and might have different selections by then, and it could be a situation where he might need the contract a lot more than Spurs need to get. Well, obviously, Spurs need to give it to him because Spurs are never getting anyone better than Harry Kane. Obviously, we want to give him a contract, but
I think we need it more than him, to be honest. I really do. I think Harry Kane will always have the option there to move to a top club. I really believe that. That's just the quality of the guy.
But would he rather, if Kane, let's say City sign Haaland and then Kane comes available on 1 year left and they put in an offer for him for 50 million, would Kane rather be battling out with Haaland for a striking spot, or would he rather be number one striker at Tottenham?
At 30 years of age?
Yeah.
I think he might rather battle it out with Haaland to more guaranteed trophies, to be honest. I think he wants trophies. I think that's the be-all and end-all for him in his career.
I don't think he wants, but what about the risks, him not breaking the Premier League record and all these kind of things, and it risks him...
Would he rather guaranteed trophies or to break the Premier League record? I don't know.
I don't know. I get a feeling that it's a tough one. I think he would, because if he was, say, battling out with Haaland, he'll have to share the games 50-50.
Yeah, I don't think Man City come in for Kane if Haaland's there.
I know,
anyway.
I'm just saying a hypothetical. Like, what kind of situation would he rather be in? Would he rather be in a team where he's fighting for his spot, or would he rather just be at Tottenham where he's guaranteed to play every game? Or maybe it's just too comfortable at Tottenham playing every game and guaranteed to play.
I think he would back himself going to Man City with another top striker there to play the majority of the games. I think he would back himself. He's got self-confidence. And, he's a top professional, so I think he would completely back himself.
I guess we'll see. But I think the fact that he didn't get his move this summer definitely would make it more likely that he does stay at Tottenham in the long term, I think. I guess it also all depends how Spurs do this season. I think, obviously, we need to at least be seriously in the conversation for top four to make him think that we're going in the right direction. Otherwise, there's not much for him. And that's the hardest thing about, as well, not being in Europa League and being in this Conference League, because that just takes another avenue out of the way for Tottenham to actually have a good season. Because even winning the Conference League, there's nothing, you can't say we have a good season. Only if we finish top 5 and win the Conference League, it's like okay, but it's not good.
If we replicate our Premier League form from last season, right, and we don't finish in the Europa League spots, we get 7th or below or something like that, then the Conference League becomes a bit of a saving grace, because then we can qualify for the Europa League.
Yeah, but it doesn't make it a good season, that's my point.
No, I agree with you.
Exactly, that's my point. So that's why it's so annoying being in this Conference League, because at least being in Europa League, if we finish 6th and win Europa League, that's a good season. Mm-hmm. That's a good season, because we've got Champions League football for next season and a decent trophy. But if this season we finish 6th and win the Conference League...
Which is the same as last season, when you said if we finished 7th and won the Carabao Cup, it's still a poor season.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, I mean, look, I agree with you. It is a poor season if we win the Conference League and have a poor league form, but I would still rather win it than not win it. So.
No, but what I'm saying is, it's like winning it doesn't do much for us, like in terms of keeping Kane, being an ambitious club, that kind of stuff.
The only things that do that for us is fighting for the top 4, fighting for the title, getting back into the Champions League. That's the only thing that does that for us.
Yeah,
an FA Cup win won't do that for us. A Carabao Cup win won't do that for us, and a Conference League win won't do that for us.
Correct. That's why I'm saying, like, at least if we're in Europa League, that's why you can take that competition seriously, because that can turn your season into a good season. The Conference
But
League
it's an extra route back into the Europa League.
Yeah, whatever. I don't care. Extra route. We shouldn't need extra routes back into Europa League.
We shouldn't.
Honestly.
But look, we're in a massive transitional season this season, so we should take anything that we can get. We're not going to be fighting for the top 4
We've got the FA Cup there as well, so that's also a way into Europa League.
It's much harder, I think, to win the FA Cup with the teams that are in the FA Cup, the teams that are in the Carabao Cup doesn't even get Europa League
I guess
anymore.
your Conference League.
So, I mean, FA Cup, yeah, of course I'd rather win the FA Cup than the Conference League, obviously, but it's much harder to win with the teams that are in it.
It's harder to win. Well, you say that. It's much shorter competition. It's only 4
but look
games.
at the teams that are in it.
It's
They're
only
Premier League team.
It's only 4 one-off games, though. 5 one-off games.
Man City, Chelsea, every English team are in it. So, I mean, We've seen it before. We can't get over the line against these teams hardly.
Yeah, but would you back yourself to do a whole competition like the Conference League, where you got group stages and two-legged knockouts, then you have a one-off game in the final, or 5 games against good opposition?
The Conference League, because of the quality of the opposition.
And then you got dropouts from the Europa League. You don't know who's dropping out from. Probably no one good, but
if you're dropping out from the Europa League, then we should be beating them.
Yeah, definitely, we should be beating anyone. But I don't know. I would much like, for example, if we had an FA Cup quarter-final or a Conference League quarter-final, I'd rather play stronger team in the FA Cup.
Yeah, of course, because the FA Cup game is going to need the stronger team. And I think
that's what I'd prioritise. It would be literally Conference League would be the lowest of my priorities this season. Maybe just ahead of the League Cup, maybe.
Yeah, I'd agree with you, but it still doesn't mean that we should be throwing it away.
But you agreed with me that we should, just before.
Did I?
Today, you said if it was up. I said if it was up to me, I would completely tomorrow's game. I would bin it off.
Tomorrow's game, yeah. I'm not saying we should go out the tournament. This is just one game because we've got Chelsea on the weekend and it's our first group stage game. That's not chucking away the tournament.
What about if this was our last group stage game and we had to win to qualify, and we had Chelsea on Sunday?
I think I would take it more seriously than I would take it tomorrow.
Would you play a completely strongest 11?
I wouldn't play the strongest 11 because I think
you're risking going out.
Yeah, risking going out, even playing our strongest 11, because even that's not too good. But I think that everything's a risk, and yeah, fine, I would risk going out. There's a hierarchy in our season, and obviously the Premier League is more important than the Conference League, obviously. But I would still want to go through to the next round. I would still want to go through.
Okay. But I mean, for me, how I see things is if in that situation, and if you don't play your strongest team, that's kind of binning it off in that situation for me. That's how I see. That's what I define binning off the competition. Because I feel like in that situation, if you're not going to play your strongest team and you're going to risk leaving the competition for the Premier League, that's how I define binning off the competition, because you're willing to not progress in it, to prioritise other competitions. That's how I define it. I guess you define it in a different way.
I don't think binning off is prioritising other things. I don't think that's what you can classify as. Binning off for me is playing a complete reserve side. That's binning it off. I think these tournaments, like the early stages of Europa League, the early stages of the Conference League, or the Conference League in total, the whole tournament, you should be able to play like a mix and match team and get through. You should be able to, with the quality that's in there. You should be able to, and if we're not, then we're in trouble anyway, because it means that our strength in depth is so weak, and we know it is.
I know, but I'm in the hypothetical situation I'm talking about, like, say we got Rennes away in the last game, we have to win to qualify, right? Like, I just feel like if you're not going to play your strongest 11 in that game, and I think you're massively, like, for example, if you're not going to play Kane or Son, right? You know, we've seen how we struggled massively without Kane or Son. Say you think we shouldn't play either of them, then for me that's like massively risking going out, like massively.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going into the last game, Rennes away, we got Chelsea at home or Chelsea away the next game a few days later, I would play one of Kane or Son.
You would play one of them. Okay, fair enough. I don't know if I would.
We got a super chat here from Bob. I mean, we kind of went back to the preview there for a bit, but
yeah.
Bob Spur TV saying Kane should sign. Kane should sign is if we show progress. If we build, not rebuild, Kane can leave to win trophies as long as he does it properly and with class.
Yeah.
And Adam William Cahill says 100% agree with Ben. It's a rebuild. Conference League and 5th equals A+ season. Conference League win and 5th.
I think does that
consist a good season for you?
I think in terms of where Spurs are in as a squad at the moment, it's probably a decent season. Yeah. For fifth place plus the Conference League is probably decent. I'm just talking about in terms of showing Kane that I guess it shows progress from last season, but does it show that we're ambitious to really challenge the big boys? I don't know. Depends how we do it.
We're not ambitious to challenge the big boys, though.
Or then we're never going to convince Kane to stay.
Well, no, we're not.
But we have to hope that we can be.
Well, we can hope all we want, but I think that hope is delusion, because at the end of the day, the top 4 clubs are so much further ahead for us at the moment. They're so much further ahead, and it's going to be impossible without us putting in so much money and getting all these players that are half-hearted and half in it on side. You need all these things to all align for us to even talk about the other 4 clubs in the same category as us. Right now, as it stands, we are so far behind, it's a joke. And I can't see any way in the next year where we convince Kane that we're going to be challenging those guys.
But we can't. Yeah, but you can't just like. Yeah, but then you might as well throw in the towel now.
Throw in the towel for what?
Keeping Kane.
I'm not confident of keeping Kane at all.
No, you don't have to be confident, but you have to hope that we can in the future. Like, we have to hope that we can do something this season to convince him to stay.
What can we do this season to convince Kane?
Somehow.
What do you What do you realistically think that we're going to do this season? That Kane's going to be like, oh, you know what? This club's going somewhere.
That's the only thing I can think of. Somehow get top 4.
Yeah, and you really think that's possible?
I think it's very unlikely.
Yeah, but you still hold hope.
That's all I can. That's all. As a football fan, that's what you got to do. Hold hope.
You got to be realistic though, and it's not realistic. Liverpool are so much better than us. And the other 3 are like, there's not even worth talking about.
I'm being realistic. I said it's very unlikely.
Yeah,
that is realistic.
I think it's extremely unlikely.
Yeah, we know that, but you know, as we've said before, when our first 11's out there, quality-wise,
yeah,
it can be a very good first 11.
It can be a very good first 11, but the strength and depth is so weak. We've seen just a few injuries, and we're already like on our knees pretty much. I just can't see it. I just can't see any way that we can go into this season and think about keeping Kane at the end of it. The only way we keep Kane at the end of it is if he has nowhere to go. That's the only chance. That's the only way.
It's depressing.
It is depressing, but it's facts.
I don't know. Well, I mean, yeah, it is, but you have to. You know, a football fan is all about hoping that you can do better than you expect. That's the whole thing about being
done. I am done with this false hope every single season. False hope, false hope, false hope. Yeah, we went through a stage under Pochettino where we actually had proper hope where we're going to finish in the top 4. But I'm done with this delusional hope that we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, we're gonna do this. No, we're not. We're not strong enough. Daniel Levy has put us in a situation where we're not strong enough to challenge for the top 4 this year. Yeah, maybe our starting 11 on its own might be strong enough to challenge for the top 4, but the squad as a whole is nowhere near strong enough to challenge for the top 4. And injuries are going to happen throughout the season. We need if Tanguy and Ndombele isn't on side with us this season, then we got no chance whatsoever. We got no creation from midfield. How are we going to create a chance?
Let's hope he is on side. That's my point. You just got to hope. You got to try and hope for the positive side of things. Otherwise, there's no point being a football fan, in my opinion.
I don't think there's no point of being a football fan. You just got to look at it and see what you see. You can't look at what you can't see. You know what I mean? You got to see what you're looking at.
Yeah, but you see what you see. But football's also about what you don't see. You can't see everything. Is my point. You can't see everything as a football fan. You don't exactly know every single situation. Who knows what levels Ndombele and Lo Celso could reach this season? Maybe they'll reach a new level, and we can be better than we hope. You know what I mean? Maybe Kane and Son won't.
Of course, but we don't have evidence of that right now.
No, we don't have evidence. We don't have evidence that they're going to reach a new level after 4 games in the season, correct? But we also know what level they can reach. Mm-hmm. So we have evidence of that, and maybe they could reach on a consistent level. So look, I'm just saying, a football fan for me, yes, you obviously you want to be realistic, but also, and being realistic, it's very unlikely we're going to get top 4. Of course it is. But also, as a football fan, you always have to hold out, for me, a bit of like that little thing at the back of your mind saying, what if this happens, what if that happens? Because if you completely give up all sense of hope, like, you've got to have, going into a game, for example, Chelsea on Saturday, I know we're not going to win, but trust me, when kickoff happens, there's going to be a little bit of part of me saying, maybe this can happen, maybe.
And that's the hope that kills you.
Exactly. But
that's the hope that kills you, and I've been killed too many times as a Spurs fan.
That's being a football fan. That's what being a football fan's all about.
It's my 3 years on you that's just made me a bit too cynical, you know what I mean?
I'm cynical as well. I'm saying there's like, if there's like a 97% chance, right, we're not going to get top 4, right? 97. There's still 3%.
Yeah.
There's still that 3% that maybe these things can come. Maybe Kane and Son can stay injury-free. Maybe Nuno will get that defence right, and Ndombele and Lo Celso can sort out the creation. Maybe Lucas Moura is going to up his goal up, and maybe Bergwijn's going to find, like all these things. You just have to hold out that little bit of hope, and that's why I'm clinging on to that, basically.
I know. Look, I've been clinging on to that for many a year. Even when we were on the top of our game, we're like, we're going to win the league. We're going to win the league. Even last season, at the beginning of the season, we did that video, 5 reasons why Spurs are going to win the league, 6 reasons, whatever it may be. Like, but this season, for me, I said it throughout the whole summer. I'm not expecting anything this season. I'm completely acting this as a complete transitional year. I'm not expecting anything this season, and I'm gonna hold that throughout the whole season unless it looks like we're gonna actually do something.
Fair enough. I'm not expecting anything either. I'm not expecting. I'm not expecting anything either from this season, to be fair. Bob Spur TV says, we lived in hope for 20 years, guys. The board lacks ambition is evident, hence the protest. Rebuild has got us nothing. When did we build? We built under Poch, and then it all came crashing down. And now we're rebuilding. That's pretty much it.
Basically, yeah.
That's how I see it.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk about Christian the Viking. You know about Christian the Viking, Sim?
No, maybe.
Christian the Viking, Erik Torstved's son, is an up-and-coming rising star in Belgium at the moment. He plays for Genk, 22-year-old, and he apparently is a very, very good player coming through the ranks at the moment, starting every game, playing really well. And he's had some quotes at the moment because he's been linked with Spurs over the past month or so. And he says... of course, things concern me and are brought to my attention, and I have an agent who keeps me informed. He's talking about the Tottenham links. He says, but at the moment, I don't really care much about it. In this transfer window, I think it was beneficial for my development to stay in Belgium, but we don't know what will happen in the future. And then basically, he went on to say that he really, the only place he wants to go is Tottenham after Genk.
And so where does he play?
Midfielder. He's a midfielder, creative midfielder.
Oh, we need a creative midfielder.
So it's very interesting. And this is the quote here. It says, it has always been Spurs for me. I'm happy in Belgium. I have lots of games to look forward to in the League and Domestic Cup and in the European Cup. But it's still early days. But I would love to move to Spurs one day. So apparently...
How old is he?
He's 22. He's a 22 Norwegian star, scored 9 times in the top Belgian league last season and had 3 assists. And his dad, Eric, has obviously given him a very good education growing up, hasn't he?
Get him in. Get him in. We need a creative midfielder, someone to score goals from midfield, and we absolutely need that. So why not? I mean, and clearly he has Spurs in his heart, he has Spurs in his blood. So that'll be class.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've never seen him play.
I've never seen him play as well, but he is an attacking midfielder. He has that creative bit in him, but obviously it's a bit of a different level coming from Belgium. I remember signing another protege from the Belgian league in Jonathan Blondell, and that didn't really work out well, did it?
Oh dear, almost forgot about him. Let's bring him up again. Jonathan Blondell.
Did he ever play for us, Jonathan Blondell?
I don't know if he. I don't know if he ever made. I think maybe he made 1 appearance or something. It might have been in a friendly as well. Jonathan Blondell. He was terrible. He just didn't work out at all.
But he has played 7 times for Norway now and scored 2 goals.
It's all right.
At 22 years of age, it's not too bad at all. And he just joined Genk actually in the summer of 2020 for 1.5 million. So. For that price in the Belgian league at that age, at 20 years of age, or like at 21 years of age, that's pretty impressive, to be fair.
That's not bad. Where was he before that?
A team called Viking.
Viking. Yeah, of course he was. Yeah, I mean, maybe he could be one of those in the future. A bit like other players where their dads have been legends at other clubs and they've gone there, their sons have gone there. It doesn't usually work out the same way, but I would definitely be in favour of giving him a chance. Why not? Yeah,
like at Man United in the youth academy there, you've got Kai Rooney, you've got Ronaldo's son now, and you've got Matic's son. all three of them
Exactly.
playing in the same team in the youth academy.
That's why Haaland's destined for City, because his dad played for City.
Yeah, he's just a tiny bit of a better player than his dad.
Just about. Well, his dad got retired by Roy Keane, didn't he?
I don't think he actually got retired, but he did get an injury for a very long time. I did think he'd come back after that.
I'm pretty sure that's the injury that forced him to retire.
Yeah, maybe later on in his career, but I think he did come back. But is there? Let's move on and talk about this, because this is going to be an interesting topic, and this is the Dele change right? And we're talking about the positional change, going from a kind of second striker to almost a defensive midfielder, pretty much in a middle three. And do we think it's right for the development of Dele?
Yeah, because it's not just so much about the development of Dele. It's more about for Tottenham as a team, and as a squad. Is it the right thing to do? There's quite an interesting article I was reading from the Athletic, written by Charlie Eccleshare earlier today, and he was talking about how reliant Spurs are on Kane and Son. As I said before, the last time we won a game, apart from when we beat Wolves earlier this season, the last time we won a game without Kane and Son scoring or an own goal was December 2019. Which is when Vertonghen scored that last-minute winner at Wolves. Even that game we didn't deserve to win as well. But that's the last time we won a game under those circumstances. That's how reliant we are on Kane and Son. Last season, our top goal scorer after Kane, Son and Bale was own goal with 3 goals. So we need other players to start contributing to goals and assists. It's absolutely paramount. That's the only way we can be successful this season and going forward, is if we stop relying on Kane. Kane and Son obviously always going to get the goals, but we have to stop relying on them to be our only source of goals, because otherwise it's going to be so predictable, and we're going to have no other players who can basically chip in with goals that we need. We used to have the likes of Eriksen and Dele regularly chipping in with goals. Not anymore. It's literally just Kane and Son now. So with Dele moving into a more defensive role, are we restricting a player who we know is capable of having high goal outputs given the right circumstances? Obviously, he hasn't done that for a couple of years, probably more. But we know when you look at the squad, who have we actually seen evidence of where they can get high goal outputs? Apart from Dele, who else is there? Lucas has never been a goal scorer.
Yeah, one season he got 10 Premier League goals out of 3.
Yeah. Bergwijn in Holland, he got a few, but other than that, he's in England, he's never been a high goal scorer. Gil got 4 last season in La Liga, but it's not like he, got threatened to get to the double digits or anything like that at the moment. So is that and the rest are Ndombele's not a goal scorer. Lo Celso, he got a few goals for Betis that 1 year. But for Spurs, he's never really been a goal scorer. So it's literally only Dele. And yet what we're doing with Dele is we're making him more defensive. Is that the right thing to do? I'm not saying it's the wrong thing to do. Obviously, Dele's earned a lot of plaudits this season for his revamped style, his him kind of becoming a new player and playing a new role, and role clearly Nuno's asking him to do. And I'm not saying he's doing a bad job. He's doing a good job. I'm not even saying it's a bad thing. But when we're so reliant on Kane and Son, are we restricting a player who could potentially be getting more goals and assists in Dele in his new role?
I see what you're saying, but the thing is with Dele, I just don't know if he's that player anymore. I don't know if he's that player that arrives late in the box, second striker role, always, looking to get that shot off, looking to get that assist off. I mean, I don't know if he's that player anymore. I mean, we haven't seen that player for a very long time at Tottenham. So it's very difficult. And yes, we need that in the squad big time, just because of our lack of goal scorers in the squad. And yes, what would I prefer Dele to be? Yeah, I'd prefer Dele to be that guy again. But I just don't know if he is. I don't know if that's... I don't know. Players evolve through their career, and I just feel like this is an evolution of Dele Alli right now.
Yeah, but if he's more physical and he's putting in those kind of performances, and he's being more energetic than he was before, then why can't he be the player that he was before?
I don't know what's happened with him. Maybe he can.
Because the only thing that would tell me that he can't be that player is if he's losing the physicality, if it's going the opposite way, if he's getting muscled off the ball in and around the penalty area too easily, if he's not being able to shove players off, if he's not doing that kind of stuff. But he's going to have to do that in the centre mid. So why can't he? And we know what kind of attacking output he can do. You know, his finishing ability, his first touch. You know, when balls come over the top and stuff like that. His spark in and around the penalty box, where he can either do a nutmeg or get a bit of something special. Like, is that something you can just lose? It's more likely you'll lose the physicality and you lose those things, surely.
Well, for me, this season, where Dele's looked his strongest is off the ball, not on the ball. Still on the ball, I think he's been fairly weak this season, and I think that, you know, he still loses the ball quite easily. Still Dele-dallies on the ball. So for me, I think his best attributes this season has been off the ball. And when you're further forward and you're playing as that second striker, you need to be better on the ball than off the ball.
Correct, but where is he getting the ball? That's the point.
Yeah. I
mean, he's getting the ball in areas where I feel like he's never been great on the ball anyway.
Yeah, but even so, even in the last 2 years when he's been on the ball further up the pitch, it's still the same story. It's not really any different.
Yeah, but maybe it's about when you have... Yeah, it's true. But maybe if we're under a new manager and when we're trying to unlock Dele, especially when we're lacking for goals so much, that's where we need to get him to.
How long can we wait for him, though?
Don't know.
How long can we wait? We've been waiting 2 years, if not more already. We've moved him back into a role where his losing the ball kind of doesn't really affect us that much, because he's putting in such a kind of effort for the team and winning the ball back. His defensive role, you know, his last-ditch challenges, that saving goals and stuff like that.
I'd kind of disagree with that. I think losing the ball in the central midfield is more damaging than losing it in the final third.
It is more damaging, but not in the way he's doing it, because he's not losing it as often as he is when he is up there. And I think that the sheer work rate he's putting back there, winning back the ball, regaining possession, goal line, goal-saving challenges and stuff like that is actually impacting the team positively. When he's up there and he's just losing the ball, that's all he's doing is losing the ball, nothing else. He's not impacting the team positively whatsoever.
So why can't he bring those elements to the game that he's doing great in that fight in the midfield three, and have that in a more aggressive way in the final third as well, and be pressing from the front, that kind of stuff?
Ask Dele that. I mean, I think he can. I don't see a reason why he can't. But when he does play there, he doesn't. So I mean, how long can you wait around for someone?
Yeah, but when we have no goals, pretty much except for Kane and Son, who else can we rely on to get forward?
I mean, can we rely on Dele to get goals?
Rely on him more than anyone else.
Yeah, but can we rely on him though?
More than anyone else, yeah.
It's
more than anyone else in the squad. Who else in the squad can we rely on to get goals? That's my point. No one.
I think we can rely on Dele just as least as anyone else.
I think you can rely on Dele more, because you know when he's going to get a chance to run a goal, he's more likely to score it than other players in the squad.
Well, I mean, he's had chances this year, hasn't put them away. He hasn't had a kind of big goal return for ages. I mean, when's the last time he's had a good goal return for us?
Our first season at Wembley, he had 12 goals that year.
And how long ago was that? 3 years ago?
Going up to 4 years ago now.
4 years ago, exactly.
2021 now, yeah. 2017 18, so 3 years ago, yeah. 3 years ago when he scored that double at Stamford Bridge.
Well, there you go. And even people said he had a poor season that year.
Yeah, which I disagreed with. I didn't think he had a poor season.
But what I'm saying is people were saying it, that he had a poor season that year, and he's just regressed year on year since then pretty much. And look, yes, I get what you're saying, that he has had the goal return in his career at some points, but we haven't seen that for a long time now, so you can't rely on it.
Right, but if we're not... I'm saying, if we're not going to get the goals from... If Kane and Son are being hamstrung, so you're just going to say... We would rather be screwed than try and get Dele in a more attacking position. Because if we're not getting Dele in attacking position, what are we going to do? If there's not goals coming from Kane and Son, if goals aren't coming from Kane and Son, who are they going to come from?
Well, I think they're more likely to come for players like Lucas Moura, Steven Bergwijn, players like that than Dele Alli.
They've never in their careers got any sort of near the goal returns that Dele's got before.
Well, Lucas Moura has probably scored more goals in the last 4 years than Dele Alli.
In all competitions. Well, I don't know. Has he? Premier League goals? Maybe because Dele didn't score any last year. Didn't play last year, really. Maybe because of that.
Even in all competitions, he's probably scored more.
Yeah, because Dele took a year out, pretty much. That's probably why.
Yeah, he took a year out because he was not good enough.
I don't know. I think it's vital. We I don't know if it's vital. I don't know if it's the right thing to do. I just feel like when we're playing Dele in this role, which is good, he's doing a good job. I'm not saying he's not doing a good job, because he is doing good stuff. But we got a serious issue.
Your argument before the season, we were talking about this creative void and where the goal's going to come from. Bale, 10 goals gone last season. Kane and Son, the only guys coming in. You were the one saying that with Nuno, we've got a different manager. He's the one that's going to be the key with the way we play football to get goals from everywhere around the pitch. So, I mean, obviously the first 4 games haven't shown that. But if he does play a more attacking style of football, then that's where it's going to come from.
Correct.
Not really relying on Dele Alli to be that third guy to get that goals. They need to be coming from more places than just Dele Alli. It needs to be coming from all over the pitch, like what we had when Pochettino was our manager.
Correct. I don't not disagree with that. I'm just saying, apart from when you're looking at who's more likely a source of goals, right, in our squad, you got Kane, you got Son, all right, and then who's next?
Lucas.
Luke, so you'd say Lucas is more likely to be getting goals than Dele?
Yeah, because Lucas plays on the right wing and Dele plays as a central defensive midfielder.
I'm saying as a player-wise, not position, player, as a player, who they are. Who's more like who can you rely on more to be getting goals and assists, regularly? Who would you rather be relying on, Lucas Moura or Dele Alli? As a player. In terms of you take how good they are in certain aspects of their game.
How long are you going to compare? You're going to compare their whole careers, or are you going to compare the last 2 or 3 years?
Compare them as a player, who they are as a player.
But is Dele the same player as he was 4 or 5 years ago?
Don't know.
Exactly. So it's like I can't put Dele's good seasons when I'm comparing him as a player, because he hasn't shown that for so many years. I can't call Dele that player that got 20 goals a season. I can't call Dele that player that got 12 goals a season even. He's not that player anymore.
All right, but then you could say that season Lucas got 15 goals, 10 goals. That was 3 years ago, 2 years ago as well, 3 years ago.
It was, but Lucas is still playing better week in, week out than Dele is.
But he's not getting goals.
He's not getting goals, but he's more of a goal threat than Dele Alli is.
But he's still not getting goals.
No, he's not, but he's more of a threat.
Yeah, but we need to rely on someone to be actually scoring.
Yeah,
actually putting the ball in the net.
I believe Lucas Moura can do that more than Dele Alli.
I don't know. I don't know if he can. I think I was obviously right. Look, Lucas is also another player doing a very good job for the team. But I would if you give me a chance in front of goal, I would back Dele ahead of Lucas. I would back Dele ahead of Lucas to slot it home.
I don't know. Maybe if you give him if they both have a chance in that same area, but I think that
Lucas is more likely to get the chance, which is true.
It's a very difficult one, because I think that you've got to look at the whole picture. It's not just about who's more likely to score that chance. You've got to look at how they've been playing, what their form is like, what they are as a player now. And I think that Lucas Moura, I know Dele gives us energy as well, but Lucas Moura gives us a completely different type of energy. The energy that Dele gives us is more like running around the pitch, winning the ball back. Lucas Moura is literally trying to beat players and trying to start attacks and that kind of stuff. That has gone out of Dele's game. It's gone out of Dele's game.
Anyway, this isn't a debate between Lucas and Dele, because it's not a choice between them two. It's more about when we're a team struggling for goals at the moment and struggling for creativity. It's just an interesting debate whether we are potentially hamstringing one holding a player back who's potentially one of our best attacking players. Potentially, not obviously we know he hasn't had a good few years, right? We know that, but he is still potentially one of our best attacking players given the attacking talent in the squad. That's just reality. If we would have signed another goal scoring forward, maybe it'd be different, but unfortunately we didn't. We're going with the squad what we have, and Dele in the squad is still potentially one of our best attacking players, but in the new role, he's obviously a lot less in the final third. A lot less. We're seeing him a lot less in these positions. For rightly or wrongly, that's just reality as well. We're seeing him a lot less in these positions. And should we be trying to find a way to get him more in those positions, or are we say actually keep doing what you're doing, Dele, and I think he's doing a fine job. Like for a team wise, do we need him? Like, is it like, because at the moment we're just so non-threatening. So do we need someone like Dele more? Is it like what do we need as a team? Do we need Dele more in those positions, or is it fine him being as deep as he is?
It's not fine. Of course, it's not fine because we've got a massive lack of creativity. But I don't know if Dele is going to be the answer. I just don't know until he proves me otherwise. Of course, he's shown in his career in the past at some stages that he can be the answer. But like I said, like I keep saying, we haven't seen him being the answer for a long time. And it's like, how long do we give him? How long are we going to wait for him to be the answer?
But, you know, you look at Lingard. You know, he was off form for like 3-4 years, and he had that loan in West Ham, and he just started smashing it out.
Mm-hmm.
You just, maybe there needs to be something that could be unlocked. Look, he's still 25, 26. This guy is young. Like, he can, by no way is his career anywhere near over or anything like that. He's been off form for a while, but doesn't mean he can't recapture it.
No,
doesn't mean
that.
he can't.
No, it doesn't mean that. But we don't have the time to wait for him to recapture his form going forward. That's why he's deeper in the park, and he's playing well now. Look, he is playing well. He's playing well at the moment. So I would rather keep him deeper and put Lucas in a number 10 or something like that.
It's not. I was saying it's not a choice between.
No, I know.
Yeah,
I know. I'm just saying what I would rather.
Okay, it's interesting. I want to know what people think. I'm not saying it's wrong what we're doing with Dele. I'm just interested to explore if it's right.
I think if we're gonna I think Dele might even need like a change of scenery or something. I don't know if he's going to recapture that form going forward, but he's definitely trying to reinvent himself right now. But it's not helping us with our kind of void of creativeness and lack of goals in the team. That's for sure.
That's what I'm saying, because we're lacking. We don't have too many players with goal outputs, and we know Dele could potentially have that. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. So
I know what you're saying. And ideally it does make sense, but because of the way he is and his form, I don't know if we can put our trust in him.
But it's like you're potentially. I know, but it's like there's not many sources of goals for in the squad.
But there are a lot of players that could potentially be sources of goals. Bergwijn could potentially be sources of goals. Mora could potentially be a source of goals. Ndombele could be potentially a source of goals. Like the way we play football, we should be playing football in a way where all of these players should be a source of goals. I know Bergwijn and Lucas Moura haven't consistently done that, but Bergwijn is a very young player still. He's also coming through. He's much younger than Dele Alli. And when he first came into Spurs, he was showing he is a goal threat, and he was showing that he can maybe be that role. And I still back him to say that he can do that. I just feel like once he gets a few goals under his belt this season, I think he will start to improve. And I think that I would rather persist with Moura and Bergwijn than put Dele further forward.
I don't want Dele in a front three. I don't think that works. But I think maybe
in number 10 or
number 10,
second striker or something.
Need him just closer to goal. We need him closer. I think we need him close. I do think we need him closer to goal. I think he's doing a good job, but I just feel like if Kane and Son aren't going to score, if they're being marked out of the game, then I feel like no one else is. And that's a big problem. But
that's what I'm saying. It's like as much as I'm saying Dele doesn't provide that goal threat. Yes, all our other players doesn't do that, but they should be doing that, and they've got the attributes to do that.
Yeah. They do, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's true.
So that's that. So is the Dele change right? Maybe so.
Maybe. We don't know. I guess it depends. How we approach things going forward. But I guess time will tell. If we get goals from other areas, then maybe. But again, we'll see. I want to maybe put it in a poll. Let's see what people think.
Is anyone waiting to talk to us? No one. So link is in the community section if you do want to come. Sim's going to put out a poll right now about Dele Alli. We're waiting for guests to come on, but if no guests come on, then that will be the end of the show, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean, I want to know what people think. I want to know what people think about the whole Dele thing. I just thought it was an interesting thing to explore. But yeah, we seriously, it's not just Dele though. We just lack so many goal threats throughout the pitch.
But what I keep saying is we shouldn't though. I think it's our style of football that's lacking our goal threats. That's what's lacking our goal threats. We've actually got the personnel that can provide goal threats. Like I said, Bergwijn, Moura, Ndombele, Lo Celso, even Brian Hill even could provide a goal threat with the attributes he has. It's just about our style of play at the moment. Our style of play is stifling us creatively massively.
Hopefully Nuno can sort that out.
And it's not, and that's been the case for the last 3 years, pretty much.
Yeah, it has been. But
And
I don't know.
Even if you play Dele further forward, it's going to be the same situation because of our style of play.
That's obviously the biggest thing we need is to fix. Is how we're approaching games creatively, especially when we approach games like we did on Saturday. It's never going to be good for anyone.
Mm-hmm.
It's never going to be good for anyone. So that's the truth. But I don't know. Nuno's got a lot of sorting out to, and how we can make the team function in a way that's defensive solid, but can also still be able to be creative when given the opportunity. And he hasn't quite found that balance just yet.
Yeah.
But hopefully he can do.
Yeah. Let's hope so. And I was looking into kind of Pochettino's start at the Spurs season. What was it? 14-15.
Yeah.
And we lost like 5 out of our first 11 games or something, and drew 2 of them. Mm-hmm. We hardly won it. We won like 3 of our first 11 games or something stupid. And, you know, a lot of fans at the time were calling for Pochettino's head. Pochettino nearly got sacked. If it wasn't for that last minute Kane deflected free kick at Aston Villa, he would have got sacked. And we even went and lost our next game after that to Villa against Stoke. But then after that, we went on a nice little run and things picked up. So I'm kind of acting like our season is like that season in terms of expectancy. It's a brand new season, brand new manager, brand new ideas, a lot of new players as well. I think we're going to need to be patient this season.
Yes, yeah, we had a lot more patience back then after following Sherwood and AVB.
Yeah,
we had a lot more patience than we do now. When we know what,
because we've been sold dreams year on year. Jose Mourinho, we were sold the dream of a serial winner's coming. We're going to win things now. Jose Mourinho's coming, but no, he gets sacked 6 days before a cup final.
No, I think as well we got used to overachievement.
Yeah,
we got used to it. As I said, Pochettino normalised overachievement. That's what he did, and so when we don't, when we don't overachieve as failure now.
Mm.
When actually, so a lot of the times we're just doing what we were doing par really, and that's the reality of the situation.
Yeah, I mean, what would you say par is for us this season? 5th, 6th?
I would say, 5th should be par.
You think we got a better squad than Leicester?
Yeah, I do. I think we got a better first 11 than Leicester. I really believe that.
They probably got a better manager than us.
They probably got a better manager than us. Probably, yeah. Brendan Rodgers probably better manager than Nuno.
And what about strength and depth?
Yeah, maybe they depends on players like Lo Celso and Ndombele. Like really.
Well, first of all, they got 3 strikers in the squad: Daka, Iniacho, and Bardi.
They do. Yeah, strength and depth. They've definitely done well with depth this summer in terms of that. But Kane and Son walk into their team, don't they?
Kane and Son walk into their team, but then they've got players in the middle who would love, like Tielemans, Samare.
Tielemans, Indeed as well.
Indeed, they've got some quality players there.
Yeah, as I said, and that's why it depends on Lo Celso and a good Ndombele gets into their team.
Yeah.
We
can't look at it like that. We got to look at it as it stands. What's going on right now?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, if you did a combined 11 with us and Leicester, it would be I don't know. It would be difficult.
Fullbacks. They'd probably get Pereira on right back, left back. Who's their left back?
What's the name? Thomas or Ryan Bertrand?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say Reguilon gets in there.
Centre backs, we might have 1 out of the 2.
They have Soyuncu, and then we get probably the other one.
Midfielders, you would say Indeed is better than Højbjerg, potentially.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Midfield, they get the midfielders. Tielemans probably gets in there. Son on the left, Kane up top. And who on the right?
Who's in their team? And then they got what's his name?
Michael Brighton on the right.
Harvey Barnes maybe on the right.
And we got a super chat from Dan THFC saying, "I'm in the back." It says waiting to join.
No,
Can
not
you?
there.
You can't see them.
Why does this keep happening with Rendezvous?
Not sure.
There's an issue with it.
What letters do you have? It's the same. You've checked.
Well, the poll's quite tight.
The poll is very tight. It keeps changing which way it's going. So is Delhi change right? 51% say yes, 49% say no. 195 people voted.
Trying to figure out. Should we maybe make a new one? Make a new rendezvous? I don't know.
Do you want to disconnect Rendezvous and create a new one? And I'll put out. I'm going to put out a new link for you guys to
Maybe
see.
put it in the comment section.
If you can join.
Oh wait, hang on.
What?
Yeah,
you see people?
I disconnected then reconnected.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay,
All right,
yeah.
don't disconnect, guys, from the Rendezvous link. We're going to use the same one. Let's get. All right. Let's bring on Mr. Dan THFC. Not dressed up for school today, though.
No, it's really early. I'm over here. It's 6:45 in the morning.
Oh, bloody hell. What are you doing awake?
Watching Good Morning Tottenham.
Love that. Absolutely love that. What do you want to talk about today?
I mean, I think what you guys, the poll that you guys put up was pretty interesting about the
Yeah.
Dele Alli.
53% now saying the change is right, 47% saying the change is not right. What's your opinion on the kind of debate me and Simeon have been having so far?
So I was one of the ones that said it's right, and here's why. What would you rather see? Dele Alli getting into the starting 11, performing well most of the time, or the Dele Alli that's sitting in his car for 3 hours on Instagram Live with some music playing in the background?
Exactly.
But Dan, who's, as we said before, with we have a lack of goal threat in this squad, and we have a player in Delhi who potentially could. We know he hasn't provided in the past couple of years, but we know when you look at the squad, if you're doing a hierarchy of who could potentially provide the goal threat, Delhi would probably be third, would he not?
I mean, yeah, it could be, but the last few seasons he hasn't been there at all. And then if you're going to put him on the past, you could also put Steven Bergwijn there, because in the beginning he scored a lot of goals. Lucas Moura in 2018-2019 was scoring a lot of goals.
That's 3 years ago, same as Delhi.
Yeah, but Lucas Moura is actually staying in his position. So I think if we could have got, Adama Traore, this is one of the reasons why I didn't want to get him, because he didn't have any goal threat. But we have to remember, we have the Golden Boot winner in our team, and he hasn't scored one Premier League goal this season.
Yeah, but that's 4 games in. We're reliant on him. We're very reliant on Kane and Son. That's my point. I think Kane, Son, and Bale scored something stupid like 70% of our goals last season. And we're this squad. Last year, our next highest goal scorer, apart from Kane, Son, and Bale, was own goal. That was our highest goal scorer. That was our 4th highest goal scorer. So, are we in a position? Do we have the luxury of holding back one of our potential attacking goal scorers who we know has the potential to score goals when we're in so need of them?
I mean, you got a point there with Harry Kane, but he hasn't performed this season. Honestly, I think his price is going to go down. We all knew this season that he was never going to have a season like last season. Last season was just unbelievable. Honestly, the numbers that he racked up, I don't think we're ever going to see that from a Premier League striker again, winning the Golden Boot and the most assists created. But look, you have to give Kane the time. Apparently in September, it's the month that he scores all the goals. So maybe this month he'll start scoring a bunch of goals. But that's what his critics say, and his critics are always wrong.
I'm talking about Delhi. Like I'm saying, are we?
Oh.
I was saying, are we in a position where we can prevent Delhi from getting into goal scoring, being more in the final third when we're in such need of goals. We don't have any goals apart from Kane and Son in this team. We literally don't. There's no goal scorers, and one potential one is Dele, and we're holding. Are we potentially holding him back too much?
I mean, I think Dele actually wants to play in that position because he realized that he's never going to be back to that old Dele. And I think he wants to get football again. He wants to get football. So I don't think he's against the decision to play him in this position. Honestly, I think he's one of the ones that is extremely delighted to play because last season he was barely playing any minutes. So now the fact that he's actually getting into the starting 11 very consistently, I think he's a big fan of that. But so that's why I don't think we're holding him back. But it's a good point to say that we're lacking goals and one of our top goal scorers is now going to become more of a defensive player. But he still has opportunities to come up. It's not like he's going to be a center back that he only comes up on corners or something.
He could have fooled me on Saturday.
Yeah, but maybe he plays on Thursday and then we'll have a lot of possession, so he'll be more attacking and he'll have more chances to score. But look, with Dele, I think it's the correct decision to move him to this new position. I think he likes it. The fans are. I mean, you can see by the polls that not by a lot, but the fans are happy with the decision. And then with Dele, I think I'm happy with the decision because I'd rather see him playing week in week out than in his car, Instagram live for 3 hours with music in the back.
It's true, but it's
just recording yourself mouthing words, basically.
But how do
Cut your cap if Harry Kane is staying.
So Dan, for you, how do we stop being so reliant on Kane and Son? How do we solve that issue? Or is it an issue we can't solve this season as things stand with the squad we have?
I don't think it's an issue that we should solve because I don't want to see Kane and Son stop scoring goals. What I think is that we need to start getting other players to score goals. I'd love for Kane and Son to continue.
For me, it's not a personnel issue. It's a tactical issue. And once we start playing more on the front foot, once we start attacking teams more, the goals will come. The goals are not coming now because we're not creating the chances to score. It's the facts of the matter.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there. But you've also got players like Lucas Moura, which can score goals. And then Bergwijn can score goals, but he's been really in a goal drought at this point. But Bergwijn has actually played good this season, in contrary to middle of last season.
Yeah.
But he's gone on injury. Hopefully he comes back stronger. I just hope I think he's gonna score one goal. I think we've already said this with the Aston Villa goal, but I think that was already at the end of the season, so he didn't have the amount of time to regain the confidence from that goal. But I think if he scores one goal, let's say in the Arsenal game or in one of those games, or maybe even in the Wolves game in the Carabao Cup, if he comes back fit for that, his confidence I think could come back.
Dan, tonight we've got not tonight. Tomorrow we have Rennes in the Conference League. What side do you think we should play and expect to play, considering the injuries we have, and we've got Chelsea on Sunday? Would you like to see the likes of Kane play, or would you like to see some semi-strong team, or do you think it's important to rest players for Sunday?
I think here's my thing. In the Europa League last season, we had not our best team, but we had some really good players on the bench. So when you asked if Kane should play, I don't think he should. I think Dane Scarlett should start, but I think we should have Harry Kane on the bench to bring on just in case the game is not going our way. We still have a super sub in our bench to make a difference, because this is what I think the problem was against Pacos de Ferreira. They scored one, and we had absolutely no one on the bench. No.
Rennes are a much better side than Pacos, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, exactly. So, look, I think, something that's good, I mean, that I was celebrating in the transfer window is Camavinga went to Real Madrid.
Yeah.
So
they still got Jeremy Doku. Well, he's actually injured, and they've got Mbai Niang and Sergio Garassi as well, who's a highly rated player. So, are you expecting a fully changed side tomorrow night?
Not fully, because I think that we don't really have too much options with all the injuries. But in this game, probably. I mean, Winks. I don't want to see him get Premier League minutes ever again. But this game, there's a possibility that he could play,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't take it away from Nuno because maybe he doesn't. He's not a fit for Premier League football. Maybe he should just go to the French league, sell him to Nantes. I just want to sell him to anybody, honestly. Sell him to anybody. Um, but look, just go out with not the weakest side, but with not the strongest. A decent side. You've got options on the bench to bring on just in case, and then we'll be good, I think, for this game.
All right, and give us a score prediction just before you go.
Well, depending on the lineup, if we go with a strong lineup, I think we could beat them 3-0. If we go with a really weak lineup, and like we did against Packers, I think we can end up drawing game 1-1. But for me, personally, I think this one could be a 2-0 win to Tottenham Hotspur. But something that's pretty interesting is that a few days ago, the money prize has been announced for the Conference League.
Oh, what is it?
I think it's around like 17 mil
17.
for the champions.
1-7.
I think it's around there, or maybe
Wow.
12 mil. It's
not a lot.
Something.
17 million.
Yeah.
I mean,
Better
compared to
than-
the Champions
It's
League,
better than
the Champions
nothing.
League, the
Obviously
Champions
better
League
than
is
nothing,
more than
but-
100 mil.
I think you get that for qualifying for the Champions League, probably.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Spurs can't sniff at 17 million.
What's
right
Europa
now.
League then?
Europa League, I don't remember on the top of my mind. I think.
All right.
All right, thanks for having me, boys.
Nice one, Dan. Nice to see
Come on,
you.
you Spurs.
Come on.
See you later, man.
Nice to see you, my friend. Captain Hoybear tweeted us saying, just catching up with your stream, has anyone mentioned to you guys about the need to win the Conference League for coefficient rankings starting in 2023? There is a wild card seed that we could possibly get. That's a decent point as well, because
It can't.
what?
Winning the Europa League then would. Man United earned last season for winning the Europa League. They earned.
They got to the
for-
final.
Okay, I'm saying if they would have won it, was done before that, before the final. If they would have won it, so if Villarreal, what they would have won last season is 16.9 million euros, 12 million pounds.
That was Europa League.
Yeah.
So Conference League must be less.
Well, this was last season. Maybe it's increased for this season. I don't know.
Maybe Dan was looking at the wrong thing.
Maybe.
One sec.
And the Conference League. Yeah, it is less. Anyway, let's bring.
It is less. How much is it?
I can't see exactly, but let's bring Sim on.
Hey guys,
Hey Sim, how you doing, my friend?
one thanks to you.
All good, all good. Gearing up for the Conference League tomorrow. You getting ready?
Yeah, I'm getting ready. I'm excited about it.
You excited about it? What are you excited about?
I think we could win this competition if we take it a bit serious, because I think that's the only trophy we are able to win. Because the FA Cup is going to be difficult, the Premier League is literally impossible to win, and the Carabao Cup is also going to be difficult. I think the Conference League is going to be a trophy that we could win if we don't bump into Roma or the other big teams.
Okay. What kind of side are you expecting to see tomorrow? Are you thinking Spurs should maybe want to get off to the best possible start in the group, play a strong team, or would with Chelsea on Sunday want us to rest a few players?
If I was Nuno, I would play goalkeeper Golini, at right back Jaffet, and then at centre back the Trek brothers, the twins. I'd play them together, just give them a chance to play. And
Interesting.
then at left back I play Ben Davis. Then the two central midfielders I'd play Wings and Tanguy. Then number 10 I'd bring in Dele Alli. Then on the left Brian Hill, striker Harry Kane. On the right Lucas Moura. Because the reason why I'm playing Kane and Lucas Moura is because I want to get them to get the confidence in. Maybe if they could score against Rennes, when we come to Chelsea, at least they've got confidence and they pumped up for the Chelsea game. Because if we lose this game and we go to the Chelsea game, we're gonna go there with a negative feeling. We're gonna be feeling down. And now, with Kane, he only has one goal in how many games? 5 games now? No. One
God.
goal in like 3 games. He didn't score a goal in the Premier League yet. If he scores
Yeah.
in the Conference League, at least get him confident and stuff to say, okay, at least I can go to the London Derby feeling a bit confident. That's the team that I'd play.
So but what if Kane gets injured? Then we're going to be in real trouble, aren't we?
Something tells me that if he gets injured, I wouldn't really panic because Son is coming back and Bergwijn is coming back. I think I'd prefer having Bergwijn and Son rather than Kane or Mora against Chelsea, because what he did against Crystal Palace, I can't really forgive him for. I really cannot let him play the Chelsea game unless he proves us that he's ready for the Chelsea game, because I'd rather choose Bergwijn or Son over him.
Well, if
currently.
Son's not fit, Son's not guaranteed to be fit. Then we're going
If
to
Son
need
is
him.
not guaranteed to be fit, we're gonna need Kane, but I'll still play him tomorrow. I'll still play him tomorrow just to get him, make sure that he gets his confidence in. Then probably once we're winning, maybe 2-0 or 3-0, sub him out for Dane Scarlett. Then yeah, that's what I'll
But,
do.
you know,
because you can't really take this.
A team like Rennes, though, is it going to be as simple as, when we're 2-0 up, we can take him off? Because Rennes are not a bad side. French, in the French division, got decent players about them. They're not, they're not Passos or someone like that. They're actually quite a good team, or they can potentially. And it's not going to be such a simple game, is it, on tomorrow?
Yeah, it's not going to be a simple game, but I don't think we're going to be able to bottle a 2-0 lead with Kane just coming out and bringing Dane Scarlett, who...
Did you see our game against Zagreb last year?
Oh, yes, I did. Oh, the worst second leg ever. I don't know what was happening there. I don't want to even talk about that one.
No, but my point is, is not taking him off when we're 2-0 up. I'm saying it's as simple as, start Kane, and when we get 2-0, take him off. It's like, I think if you start Kane on Thursday, you're going to have to be prepared to play him for 90 minutes, because I don't think it's going to be a position where we are like 2-0 up with half an hour to go and it's plain sailing. Is my point. I don't think it's going to be as plain sailing as that, even with Kane starting.
Yeah, I do agree with you. 90 minutes. Okay,
that's the thing. You're going to. I think if you start Kane, you have to prepare to play him 90 minutes. In my opinion, on Thursday, that's my opinion.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that could be also. But I think Nuno needs to trust his players, even if we're winning 1-0 and we just put in Dane Scarlett. I think it's all about trusting your youth, trusting your players. It's like the Palace game. I think Nuno was supposed to trust the likes of Brian Hill to start the game. Maybe the likes of Pasquota to come in and start the game, someone like that. Just trust your players to play, because you don't know how they're going to play. Just give them an opportunity to play.
Do you think maybe the right way to go about things is to keep Kane on the bench and to bring him on for maybe the last half an hour, 20 minutes if we need a goal?
Against Rennes or against Chelsea?
Against Rennes, yeah.
I think against Rennes, I'm starting him, guys. I won't lie. I want him to start. I need him to start the game.
Fair enough.
I think once we take him, bring him in second half, it might be too late for him to have an effect on the game, because he needs time to first check what's happening, how is the formation, how is the tactics. Starting him immediately, he can fire on with immediate effect.
Okay.
Can I ask about the Oh, sorry.
Go on.
No, go on, Sim, ask.
No, you were speaking about whether he should sign the new contract or not.
Yeah.
I wanted to share my opinion about that one.
Sure.
My opinion about that one, currently, if I were Daniel Levy or and Spurs, I wouldn't give him the contract yet. I wouldn't give him the contract yet, because it looks like he's not playing for the badge no more. It looks like he's looking down. I don't know. He's no longer a Spurs fan. It seems like it's like he wants to be somewhere else. That's why I'm like, I wouldn't be rushing him to give him a contract yet, because we don't know how it's gonna be after the contract. Will he become a villain? Because now, yes, I agree that he's world class and all, but I'm worried that we give him a contract, he's gonna be like, okay, I get the contract, I've done what I need to do, I'm just gonna play half-heartedly, pretty much.
I don't think that would be the case. I think the nature of Harry Kane, the nature of the man himself, the nature of the professional. I mean, the guy wants to be the best he can be. The guy wants to break records. He's so close. I mean, he's about to break another record if he plays tomorrow night. If he plays tomorrow night, he's going to be Tottenham's most ever European cap holder. That's going to overtake Steve Perryman. So they're both on 64 right now. And the guy is not far away from breaking Jimmy Greaves' record. He's got the Premier League record in sight as well. That's definitely achievable by the end of his career. So I think there's no way Harry Kane is resting on his laurels. I think that Harry Kane wants to be one of the best players that's ever graced the Premier League. And you can't do that by taking seasons off or by once you sign a contract. He's no Aubameyang, you know what I mean? He's no Alexis Sanchez. He doesn't have the same mentality as these players. This guy has a mentality like someone like Alan Shearer, like a Wayne Rooney, you know, like the top professionals in the game. So I don't think that's a case that would happen. I don't think he would down tools after signing a contract.
But you think the hunger is there? That's what I'm worried about. Is the hunger that he had last season or the year before? Is it there?
What do you mean?
Is he hungry to play for Spurs? Does he wanna be? Does he wanna play for Spurs?
Yes. I think
ready to
he
fight
does.
for the club?
Yes, I believe he is. I mean, he's a Tottenham boy. He's come through the youth academy. He's been at Tottenham his whole career. He obviously loves the club. He doesn't want to leave Tottenham. He feels like he's forced to leave Tottenham because we're not giving him the platform to provide trophies and that sort of stuff. If we were giving him that platform, he wouldn't want to leave. He only wants to leave because he feels like he has to leave. I don't think it's anything to do with his love for the club.
Okay, I hear you.
Yeah, that's
The,
I agree with that.
the Dele Alli position change. Because I was hearing you guys talking about it. In my opinion, I think it's good for him because when he played as a number 10, let's not forget, guys, that he had the likes of Toby Alderweireld, Jan Vertonghen pinning balls for him to go behind defenders.
Yeah,
now we
true.
don't have such players who do such things. Now you won't really get much of any service from such quality. That's why I think for him playing as a box to box, it's good for him because now he doesn't need to run behind because there's no one who can give him those proper passes where he can run behind. I think they recognize that and they're like, let me change my position now because it won't work for me playing behind Kane or playing behind the striker no more because there's no one who can ping balls for me. Because that's how he used to score goals, by people pinging balls for him or by him coming late into the box.
But Sim, without Kane and Son getting goals, who else is going to be scoring for us? Who can we rely on in the squad to start scoring some goals for us? Because we have such serious lack of goals. We have serious lack of goals in this squad. Go on, who?
Yes, we do have serious lack of goals. I'm thinking if you can play Jadon Sancho as a number 10, he can bring in goals, he can bring in assists. We need to trust Bryan Gil to start playing more games, gain his confidence. And I believe if Steven Bergwijn gets one goal, probably in the Premier League, he's gonna start scoring more goals because he's looking good. This season he's looking good. He just needs a goal to go skyrocketing. He just needs a goal. Because with Lucas Moura is it's up and down with Lucas Moura. I can't really trust him to give us pretty much 10 to 15 goals this season. But I'm thinking with Jadon Sancho, with the likes of Bryan Gil, Steven Bergwijn, we can get goals from those guys. They just need to get more confidence within themselves and start producing for us. Then we're going to start having goals. Then we won't really need to rely on Kane or Son.
Well, let's hope you're right. But Sim, absolute pleasure as always, my friend, for coming on. And we shall speak to you soon, my friend.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on.
Come on, you Spurs.
Anyone else, Vinny? All right, so that is your Good Morning Tottenham for today. A lot of good debate on the channel today, in my opinion, and some good points covered.
What was the end of the poll? Let's end the poll then.
The poll finished on 56% on yes and 44% on no, which is very interesting.
Most people believe he is the right decision.
Yeah, but, still, it's a majority, but not like a conclusive majority, you know what I mean? So
we'll see how we'll do the poll again in a few months' time and see what people think.
Definitely. But we've got the clips coming out for you now, and then we'll have a predicted lineup, and then the hot spa is back this afternoon, probably around 3 o'clock, something like that. So watch out for that, as Sim and John will be going at it once again in the studio. But thank you everyone for joining us today. Like, subscribe and comment, and as always, come on you Spurs.